everyone, it's Jennifer Hall from Jennifer Hall Coaching. I have a quick video for you today to deal with the belief it's not okay for me to take up space. So when it comes to working on this belief of it's not okay to take up space, I have a really just fun and relaxing imagery process for you today. And what I want you to do first is I want you to rate how you feel in your body when you say the words, it's not okay for me to take up space. You'll notice that somewhere in your body, the place where that belief lives, it's going to activate and it's going to activate some emotional energy. So what I want you to do is just focus on that and rate from 1 to 10, 1 being, it's not a big deal, 10 being, this is really painful. Rate that on a scale of 1 to 10. It's not okay for me to take up space. How does that feel in your body? And you can also use the wording, I don't have permission to take up space, and see if that affects you differently, and rate that. So what I'm going to do is take you through an imagery process for us to be able to understand what it means to take up space. Take some deep breaths. Check in with yourself. I want you to acknowledge yourself for being here today. A lot of times when we have this belief that it's not okay to take up space, we have this belief of whatever I have to do to deal with this is stupid and I shouldn't have to do it. We tell ourselves that we shouldn't be taking up time or energy or money or physical space, even body space. We don't take time for ourselves because we don't feel that we're worth the time. So thank you for being here. You are worth the time. So acknowledge that you're here, you made it. Start out with saying something like, it's okay for me to be here even if it seems stupid. Okay. Now just sit in that for a moment until we're ready to move on to the next step. Get comfortable, feet on the ground if you can. If you're lying down, that's totally fine. And just notice your breath. Notice you breathing in and out. Notice that your breath is like ocean waves, constantly flowing in and out in an ebb and flow. Breathe. Find peace. Find heavy relaxation in your body. Notice your head pulling and relaxing down, your shoulders relaxing down, your back, your hips, your stomach, all relaxed. Your legs, knees, your calf muscles, your ankles, feet, and toes, all feeling heavy and relaxed. Take some deep breaths. Now I want you to take your attention to your forehead. And then I want you to take your attention up to the sky. And I want you to notice in the sky that there are clouds. Whatever kind of clouds you want to see. They can be light and fluffy. They can be big and bold and dark. Anything in between, those big billowy clouds that fill the whole sky, or the little wispy ones. Notice that they're spreading across the sky and constantly moving. Now I want you to imagine that you are that cloud. If you are a big, dark rain cloud, imagine how that feels to spread out over an entire city or most of a state even, and be able to drop rain and lightning. Imagine if you're big, billowy white clouds, how they take up as much space as possible. They spread out high and wide. And the little wispy clouds, nobody tells them they're too small. They're beautiful. Take up as much space as you want, or as little space as you want. Whatever you need to just be you. Notice that there is nobody, no thing that is telling you how big or small you need to be. You are allowed to just be you as a cloud. Take up all the space that you need. Now I want you to take your attention and I want you to see a mountain, a big, glorious mountain. And I want you to go and be that mountain. I want you to stand bold and tall, unwielding. You don't move for anyone. You are constant and strong. People don't even expect you to move. In fact, you notice that they enjoy driving up the curvy roads to the pinnacles so they can see for miles and miles. There may be judgments about mountains and whether they should be there or not, how it may be easier to get to somebody's destination if the mountain wasn't there. But does that affect the mountain at all? No. The mountain stands, and nobody's opinions can affect how it feels. It is allowed to take up as much space as it wants. It is grand and steady and safe. You, as a mountain, are grand and steady and safe. You are allowed to take up that space. Now imagine that you are the ocean, deep and wide, breathing life into the earth as you ebb and flow. No one asks you to shrink. No one asks you to step aside. They need you to be you. You keep the world alive by being yourself. You as the ocean. They need you to take up most of the world. They need you to own your space and allow yourself to be as big and tall and wide as possible. You are allowed to take up all of that space. Now take your attention and imagine that you are a pine tree in a forest. Each tree grows to its greatest potential. No one ever tells it to be shorter or taller or smaller. It is allowed to take up space. Take your attention and notice that you are a bird in the forest. You fly freely, whether you are a little bird or a big bird. Nobody tells you where to go. Nobody tells you how big you should be. You are allowed to take up all the space that you need. A bird never asks anyone where it should build its nest, or what it should do, or where it should go, or what size it should be. A bird is allowed to take up space. Now you can also imagine yourself that you are a deer, a doe running freely through the forest. No one complains when a doe isn't the right size. She takes no thought to what size she is, and if she's allowed to be that size. She takes no thought to whether or not she's allowed to be in the forest. She just lets herself be. She is allowed to run free. She is allowed to take up space. Imagine yourself being as free as the bird or the doe. Imagine yourself being as free and unwielding as the mountain or the ocean. Feel the earth holding you up. Feel yourself supported by a creator, a higher power, by the earth, by the air that's all around you. You are here on purpose, just like the doe or the bird or the clouds or the mountains or the ocean. What would change in your life if you were allowed to take up as much space as you wanted? Imagine your spirit and your body right now occupying every inch of your body, saying, I am allowed to take up this space. Now imagine your body in the chair or bed or wherever you are. Imagine your body saying, I am allowed to take up this space. I am allowed to take up all of the space that I need. Now I want you to ask yourself, if I have permission or if I'm allowed to take up space, what would I do differently in my life? How would this change my relationships with others? And how would this change my relationship with myself? Now, as you are contemplating this, I want you to put your hands on your legs, rub the top of your knees, and just notice what your legs feel like and what your hands feel like. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Put your hands around yourself, your arms around yourself. Give yourself a hug. Feel the physical space that you're taking up right now. Remind yourself that taking up your space never takes away from somebody else. In fact, it does the opposite. Our higher power, God, He wants us to take up space. We're here physically for a reason. So wiggle your fingers and toes one more time. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, flutter your eyes open and look around the room. And just take a moment to appreciate everything that is there, taking up space in the space that you're in. Whether it's a desk, a chair, a bed, a window, whatever you see outside, a tree, flower. And just allow everything to be there as it is. You can look around and say, it's okay for that desk to take up space. It's okay for that bed to take up space. It's okay for this chair to take up space. And the other people that you see as well, if you have children or a spouse or coworkers nearby, it's okay for them to take up space as well. And just keep repeating these things to yourself as you go throughout your day, noticing that it's okay, it is safe to take up space. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful for you. If you got something out of this and it was helpful, please feel free to share this with friends and family. I am so thankful for you taking up space in the world, for being here so that I can support you as well. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.